Sorry if this turns out to be a little tough love for some of you old school Charmed fans, but let me start off by saying, spoiler, the pilot for the CW's Charmed is just as good as the original pilot, if not better. I'm going to let that take a moment to sink in. Now, for those of you who know my rules for pilot, they're simple. I need you to establish characters, I need you to give me some decent backstory, and I need you to plant the seeds. Don't give me too much, just give me some things that are going to want to keep me watching for the remainder of the season. And honestly, Charm's done it. And again, I want to dive right into some of the things that I liked and also talk about some of the heavy-handed stuff. We were introduced to the Vera sisters, who in their backstory are bonded magically by their mom. I'm going to make sure I get everything correct. Marisol, who attempts to unbind them to save them and dies in the process. Now, here's what we know about the Vera sisters. We have Mel, played by Melanie Diaz. She has the ability to control time. She's the activist, the grad student. She is in an on-again, off-again lesbian relationship, and she's taking up the sexual harassment case that her mom started against Professor Thane. We have Macey, who's played by Madeline Mattock. Her ability is telekinesis. She's the science nerd. She's the science geek. She's the unknown Vera sister who comes to town and basically helps be the catalyst to get the ball rolling. And then we have Maggie, who's played by Sarah Jeffrey, whose power is telepathy. She's the bubbly, wants to fit in, really just kind of wants to just go about her life normally. What I like about this, especially when we're talking about with Mel and Maggie, is we're not talking about characters that are being played into stereotypes. We understand why they've retreated into these tropes because they're all dealing and grieving with the loss of their mom in their own way. And the way Macy's introduced as the stranger who's, having to deal with the loss of a mom now twice and getting to know these sisters, I thought you have three actresses that are just doing an amazing job. And also, I'm going to put it out there, I know there was some issues regarding how the show was marketed, and I blame the CW completely for that, but it is nice seeing actresses of color in lead roles interacting with one another and not constantly fighting, but working together. Again, that just, from this white guy's standpoint, I just want to put my 2 cents out there. It just was really, really refreshing to see. We got our Buffy Giles in the form of Harry Greenwood, played by Rupert Evans, who is their Whitelighter, who, again, as you can tell by the Giles reference, you will see. I like his character. I didn't necessarily like all the things he said in pre-interviews, but I do like his character. I think there's a lot of potential there. There is definitely some very, ominous tones about him that, again, very Giles-esque, and I say that not as a cookie-cutter version, but I say that as a compliment, character-wise. Marisol, we learn a lot of really great backstory about the kind of mother she was leading into this. There also leaves so much more potential for us to find out about their mother going forward. And then Professor Thane, who, in all honesty, I'm kind of glad got taken care of, it seems like, in this episode, because he was a very over-the-top, heavy-handed type situation, and it kind of fit into the whole double thing, switcheroo, that a lot of times shows like this always tend to start off with. But let's touch upon a couple things. A lot of positives, some head scratchers, but the Mel and Harry exchange, which really drove the point home that this is a Me Too message, from the fact that their mother was working against Professor Thane in a sexual harassment suit that got him suspended but eventually reinstated, and the fact that Mel took on her charge beyond that really drove this point home. And I think Mel really drove the argument, and this is a show that is that is going to wear its feminism on its sleeve and proudly, and it does so in this episode. My only thing is, and it has nothing to do with the topic, it has to do with any type of social topic. I think those should always be there. My question is, are you going to make that the front and center of every episode? Now, it's a pilot. I don't think they are, and from what I've been seeing from a ring, they're really going to be broadening a lot of different areas and a lot of different topics. But for this first episode, I thought it drew a line in the sand, and it didn't apologize for what it was, and I appreciated that. Macey is the outsider. Again, I want to give Madeline Mattock especially strong praise, because she did the role well. It's a kind of role that could be annoying very quickly and never was. We felt for her, and we felt for the interactions she had with her sisters. The reunion in the attic, it's a way to get everybody together and try to get a lot of backstory out there, which I thought was, again, a good way to go. And the way their powers ended up demonstrating how, now that they've met up, Macey with the bad interaction with Galvin, and we're going to be talking supporting characters next episode. That's not the purpose of a pilot. Maggie with the interactions with the sorority, Mel with the on-again, off-again relationship with her ex, Nico. All of these things, I think, built into the insecurities they have as individuals and how their powers can help or hurt their situations. And again, I think really binds together the idea then of them being the charmed ones and the power of three. The full exposition I thought was an excellent job. I thought it got the point across. The double switcheroo, we've seen that a lot in these types of shows. It always helps kind of establish the team. I did like the fact that there was the science-based aspect of it. So again, besides Buffy, we also got a bit of the X-Files in the mix. The switcheroo with Brian being the demon dog and then Professor Thane being a cold demon. But wait, he's not the cold demon. Again, establishing things, getting me interested. It's not like I didn't know that there were threats coming, but the fact we have more threats coming, I really love the setup. And again, the head scratcher at the end with the Ouija board. I mean, we always know it might end up being a lot more than it's implied, but I like this idea that, hey, your Whitelighter might not be exactly who you think he is or who you need him to be. So, again, across the board, I think Charmed has that very charmed beginning. I'm looking forward to see where the season goes. And for fans of the old series, relax, chill, take a breath, give it a chance.